Can you hear me, Dre? Just kind of sort of getting everything starting out, to be quite honest with you. All right, sweet. All right, man. I'm just going to let a few more folks go to get up in here, and then I will go ahead and start. Yeah. Sweet. Just let you know. Sweet. Excellent. So where am I starting? Oh, yeah. So the first guy. All right. He's right here, Kelvin next. All right, right here. All right. I want to see this. I want to see that. And where is this? All right. Yeah. Sweet. All right. What's up, everybody? If you don't know who I am, my name is AK. I'm the owner, operator, moderator of the Eyes on Texas channel, man. We got Dre up in here already asking questions, getting excited about everything, which I'm very excited to hear. As you know, here up on the 40 acres, man, June is going to be a big, gigantic month for recruiting, probably the biggest month ever, considering the big, giant pandemic that we've been having. Pandemic's been huge. Closed for 14 months. Recruiting has been for, I do believe. So now everything is just now getting started out. All the kids are getting excited. I'm getting excited. They're actually recruits are on campus every single day of the week on unofficial visits, official visits of some sort. But anyways, kids are on campus, and Dre's got a question, man, so I'm going to go ahead and lead out with Dre's question before I get into everything, before I get into my overall spiel, because I do have something I do want to talk about. I do have the list of the recruits that are going to be on visit this weekend. Got a big list of recruits, big-time prospects, including Arch Manning, Ruben Owens, and other big-time prospects in the class of 2022. Also, I want to talk about the big board that I got going for the offensive line recruiting for the great state of Texas. For our Texas Longhorns is absolutely major for this year, this cycle, as we did take a big giant whiff last season. Only getting 2 offensive line recruits, both of them being 3 stars. One of them being Max Mayer and the other one being Hayden Connor. Hayden Connor did used to be a 4-star, but he kind of sort of peaked out early, and he did digress, I guess the word is to say, to a 3-star prospect. And then following up, I'm going to end it with some gems for you guys. I got a couple of 3-4 prospects that you might not have ever heard before. 2 of them are going to be on the radar for the Texas Longhorns. One of them is going to be a speedy speedster, man, out of the Houston area. The other one is going to be an East Texas kid, the Beast of East Texas, as he's liked to be known, Christian Bates. Be talking about him as well. But holla at your boy, man. Let's get into Dre, man. So where do you see Texas in the recruiting class next year? Can you see Steve Charles using a package of all 3 running backs? So I guess you mean by package of all 3 running backs next year, you're going to be talking about Jaden Blue. You're going to be talking about for next year. Hold on, when are we talking about? Texas and recruiting class next year. Season, all three running backs. Oh, so I guess you're talking about the new recruit that we did get from Alabama, the speedster. Also, you're talking about Rojo, and of course, we're talking about the Heisman hopeful Bijan Robinson. Oh, do I see them all being on the field at the same time? The only possible scenario I could possibly see that is that's going to be with the new one in the slot, as I do see him as a bit more of a versatile, speedy athlete. Not quite between the tackle or runner that can get you 20, 25 carries game in and game out, but can absolutely stretch the defense with his playmaking and versatility in the slot. I do believe that he was getting some work there at Alabama before he did pick it up and pack it up, go into the portal, and finally into the great state of Texas. But to answer your question, oh man, I don't see them being on the field all at the same time. But as far as a package, how I see it is I would see Rojo kind of sort of coming in the shorter yardage, coming from the goal line. I would see more what's his name? He's off the Kalen. Kalen, from Alabama is his name. I see him more subbing in for Roschon Johnson, more for Bijan Robinson more than Roschon Johnson. That's how I see that kind of sort of playing out. I don't see the new running back being a sub for Bijan. I see him being a sub for Roschon Johnson. But as always, Ella wants to see what she wants to come in and say hello. Say hello. So say horns up. Put your horns up, Ella.
Daddy.
Yeah.
I want to do a different thing to that.
Yeah.
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 I want you to peel that.
Yeah, Daddy peel this for you just right quick.
Then I can get back to you.
I don't think it really affects getting a second running back. I think Citizen is pretty settled in, as we can kind of sort of see, as well as Travarius Jones. I think those are going to be the number 1 and the number 2 backups. Or not backups, but let's call them running back 2 in the class of 2022. I don't see either one of them being scared off. I do know that's been in the line of communication with them throughout their whole entire recruitment, Speedy German, because Jaden Blues, has been committed for quite some time, right? So therefore, the fact that Citizen going to campus, already knowing the fact that he's going to be the second running back in this class, I don't think it really much affects it in a 22 or affects Killen's transferring from Alabama. Not Matson. What do you mean not Matson? The only other running back I do know is Gadsden, running back. He's going to be a 3-star prospect, a little more of a slasher. I'm not sure if that's who you're talking about, but I don't know who Matson is, to be quite honest with you, Speedy German. But man, the running back situation is going to be big this year. As y'all know, every single year, Steve Sarkeesian, he's always going to have a 1,000-yard running back. I believe this year, we all know who the bell cow is going to be. It's going to be Bijan Robinson, but you do not want to have just 2 guys that can tote the note, that carry the mail the whole entire game. 2 primetime running backs. You need to have the 3rd guy in there. And then whenever you look at Alabama, so they lost a 4-star running back. And yeah, do the horns up. Do the horns up. Like this. All right. Now leave Daddy alone now, okay? Okay? Okay. But if you do remember, as soon as, Gatson. And he actually visited, was on campus. I think that he is the 3rd running back take, to be honest with you. If Texas was to whiff on Citizen and was to whiff on a Travarius Jones, I would say he would be the 3rd choice to be the 2nd running back in the 22 class, if that makes sense, man, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, as far as running all those running backs, I do see that you do need all of them. And if we do see the new transfer coming in from Alabama, I do might be able to line up in the slot as well to stretch the defense and put some more pressure on them as well. But the running back room is healthy. The running back room is only going to get healthier. We also are going to have Mason still on campus, going to be from the 6th year. The guy that we did get transferred in from Dixie State just this past season. So we do also have him as well, coming back from a COVID year. But let's talk about who's going to be on campus, man. Let's go talk about who's going to be on campus this weekend. Just to let you know, So these first list of guys is going to be the official visitors. Some of these are going to be listed in my offensive line big board, so I'm going to get to them as well. But most definitely Cole Hudson, the 4-star offensive line prospect, going to be out of Frisco. Big-time offensive line prospect. What I like about him is his dad is going to be from Arizona State. They already were on campus this past weekend. They caught the Arizona State game whenever they were in town. Got some good vibes there. Got some good pictures there. So they got to see the campus, see the atmosphere, already in some sort of capacity as far as a visit. They did get to tour the facilities, already familiar with it, but the fact that Cole Hudson has already been on campus, already had a good time, and is now coming back for an official visit bodes well for us as the big offensive lineman has been trending our way. This next individual is going to be a class of 22 linebacker, Robbie Snelling, big-time prospect out of Las Vegas, McQueen High School out there. One thing about him, one thing that you do have to think about his recruitment, he's a big-time playmaker, big-time prospect as a baseball. He might go pro as a baseball whenever the draft is coming up in this next year's baseball draft. So it is something to be interesting whenever you hear the name, Robbie Snelling. You do need to go ahead and be wary, be wise. The fact that he is a big time baseball prospect. So if the fact that he will even commit anywhere, he might not sign on the dotted line to any kind of sort of collegiate team, because from what I hear is he's a primetime baseball target, primetime baseball prospect. And if you're facing those millions and millions of dollars to play baseball or play football, wherever your heart, wherever your passion is, I'm not sure where he is. So, but when you hear the name Robbie Snelling, you do have to think in mind that he might play baseball as well. So, all right, man, what you got, Speedy German? Do you think Sarkeesian is more comfortable with the O-line run blocking than the pass blocking? I think he's a little bit more comfortable with the offensive line run blocking because that's a little bit more easier to scheme. That's a little more easier to go ahead and set up initially when you're talking about setting up a new system. When you're talking about the communication with the pass blocking, I think that's a little bit more intricate. I think that has a little bit more complicated, a little more lots of communication as far as gelling and meshing, and as far as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys working as one to create a unit to go ahead and block for the offensive running back or block for the quarterback to create those lanes so he's not running around and scrambling around, and also to make that RPO just work just a little bit more. So to be honest with you, man, I think the run game offensive line plays schemes is going to come a little easier, a little simpler. So I believe he's probably a little more less concerned with that. It is probably just a little bit more concerned with the pass blocking. Yeah, but talking about Robbie Snelling could see the Super Regionals, man, that'd be cool. You might be able to offer best of both worlds if you don't want to go ahead and go pro, as we do offer a great baseball program. So if that baseball program was to able to shine up in that Super Regionals, as well as he could see that, get that atmosphere as well. Talking about Robbie Snelling, man, that would be 100% awesome if they can go ahead and get that rolling and rocking as well. But yeah, it's only good stuff, only good impact stuff whenever you get these recruits on campus. You're getting them on campus every single day. So whether it's official visit or unofficial visit, I mean, as long as these guys are on the 40, taking in that atmosphere, because we've got lots of stuff going on right now, just like we talked about with on campus with the baseball, with the Super Originals going on as well. Good idea there. Good there, Mr. Speedy German. Dre, do you think we will have a high tempo offense? If not, who do you see? If not, then who do you see? Okay, do I think we'll have a high tempo offense? I guess that's kind of sort of your definition of a high tempo offense. I think we're definitely going to average in the 30s. We're probably going to average in about 35 points. I don't know if we're always going to go no huddle. If that's your question with high tempo, I'm sure there'll be times that we speed it up and slow it down based on where we are in the game and if we're up or down, obviously. That's always going to come into play. But having a high-tempo offense, I don't know if we're always going to be speeding up, but I do know that we're always going to be mixing and matching up the schemes. I do believe that Sarkeesian always going to be putting the best players on the offensive side of the ball. I do believe that he's going to be changing it up to just confuse the defensive coordinator. I do believe that he's going to find someone to bow in and out and use, such as he did D6, Devontae Smith, whenever he won his Heisman Trophy. I like that scheme. I love that. I love seeing that wide receiver bowing out. Instead of going parallel to the line of scrimmage, I like to see them bowing out like that. I believe it's called his boomerang motion. I believe that's what it's called. I believe that just adds a little bit more to the element to the defense. I think it's just a little bit harder for them to pick up on that offensive player where exactly he's going to come up at. Just because what I'm talking about with that, you knew that D6 was going to get the ball, and he got the ball anyway. Had over 200 yards, 12 catches in the national title game. He had 3 touchdowns, I believe, already. Was looking like a gazelle on the outside. You knew who was going to get the ball, and he got him anyway before he got hurt. So with that being said, I don't know if we're going to have a high-tempo offense. I do believe that we are going to score in the mid-30s on average because we got to, man. It's the Big 12, and most teams do run some sort of high-tempo as we do, i.e. Score quite a bit of points in the Big 12. Yeah, man, I'm not going to quite pronounce his name, but I know who you're talking about. Promising to return for a big win for the program, without a doubt, because he was big-time trending towards Notre Dame. I do believe there is a third party just trying to get into the mix, talking about the big Californian out there. Let's call him Big T, Big Tull, the big middle linebacker. The thing about that is I don't know if he 100% fits into the style of play, the sideline to sideline passing scheme defenses, offenses that are in the Big 12. I do know he's a bigger, larger recruit, and I do know that most of the linebackers that we tend to go for are going to be the sideline to sideline guys, and then that can do some covering. But as a prospect, as you just want to get these big time, prime time players into your system, on campus, and see with what you can mold them into once you get them there. As a player development is 100% going to be crucial in this new coaching staff, and especially with our new strength and conditioning coach Tori Becton running a new kind of sort of scheme. Instead of emphasizing just adding more weight, adding more strength on players, he's more emphasizing explosiveness and versatility and side-to-side lateral movement from his guys. So that's going to be 2 big things that will be in the pike and be much different from the old staff to the new staff. It's a promising big win for the program. I do. Citizens tweet. He was treated like a 5-star. Man, I think we are 100% knocked it out of the park with that first line of recruiting. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Citizen, I absolutely loved his visit, as he did tweet out that he absolutely had a blast. Whenever he had tweeted out to me as well, I shouted out to him in one of my videos, and he tweeted out to me talking about Citizen. So I know that he did absolutely have a blast. As he tweeted that was treated like a 5-star. Absolutely loving that. Another big impact that we had this past weekend is going to be my middle linebacker, or a linebacker prospect, let's call him, from Tenaha. Jeremy Patton. I think he's ranked number 677. I'm going to be talking about him as well, as he's going to be in my guys as far as diamonds in the rough, unpolished gems. Definitely talking about Jeremy Patton. Made a big time impression on him as he played very athletic linebacker, played wide receiver in high school, played some safety as well. Needs to focus in on the linebacking position more as a prospect. Maybe that's why he hasn't risen up into the ranks, because he hasn't truly had time to focus on linebacking. Been a bit of a jack of all trades out there in East Texas. One of the knocks on him is that he does play 2A ball. Of course, anytime that you do play a lower level of ball and you don't play big time, prime time football, you just might gonna get knocked a little bit. So the fact that he doesn't play 4, 5, 6A ball, he is a beast out in East Texas out there, playing against a smaller level of competition that has hurt him as well. But definitely had a good time whenever he had his past visit, talking about Jeremy Patton.
So you're drinking with that?
Yeah, also what I hear about Jeremy Patton, though, he's also going to be very. Here you go. You're just going to have this very impressionable guy coming from East Texas. Probably haven't seen lots of things.
Daddy,
So the fact that he was on this campus for this first time was going to be a major deal. Daddy doesn't have the passcode, baby girl. He's going to have to use Play with Your Brothers. I know it's terrible. It's terrible. I know.
Maybe I can put some flags.
I'll be back. Ah! Come on. Look, man. Daddy has everything all set. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I don't know. This is not fair. Always happens. Next topic. Watch your brothers. Hey, look, don't let her come out. Okay? Okay? Don't be hesitant. Don't be please. Please leave that here. Please. I know. Please. Watch your brothers. Go next home. Fuck. Here you go. Hey, here you go. Hey, here you go. Here you go. Here's Daddy's phone. Here you go. Leave Daddy alone. All right. All right. What's up, Mark? Ella. My daughter's name is Ella. As always, as she makes her entrance. Sorry about that. Mom was supposed to be home today, but she's not much more I can say than that. I'm a dad. I got 3 kids. What else can you say? Mark Raymond, what you mean? GOAT. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Yeah, I also like to. I love Jonathan Brooks. I think I retweeted that tweet. Speedy German talking about how bring on the competition whenever the 4-star running back from Alabama came on the 40 and signed on, committed to Texas, I guess is the word to say. I love everything about Jonathan Brooks. I love his production at the high school level. I think he had 60 touchdowns this past year, over 3,000 yards, played on both sides of the ball, was 100% the team out there in Hallettsville. I believe we were his first big offer. Once he committed, he was 100% loyal to the soil, 100% true to the game, 100% true to Texas. Everything that he said has been positive towards Texas. Stand-up kid in my outright estimation. He's the one that said something about whenever Quinn Ewers decommitted. He said something that a passionate or a prideful 3-star is greater than a 5-star, and stuff like that. So gotta love Jonathan Brooks, man, 100%. He is a player that you do want on a winning team. Definitely going to be a locker room guy. Would love to see him develop as a primetime player. I think he's got the ability. Me personally, he's definitely got the lateral equipment, the side to sideline kind of sort of inside the phone booth kind of sort of moves. Let's call them. The top end speed is definitely lacking. You watched him in his sophomore footage, in his sophomore film. You can see him looking over his left and right shoulders because he used to get tackled from behind. Did pick up that speed just a little bit more his junior and senior year, but still always going to lack that overall top end speed. Talking about Jonathan Brooks, but man, if you can make those guys miss inside the phone booth, get those tough yardage, be a versatile playmaker out of the backfield. That's all we ask. And something else that you got to think about him is he did play every single down. He was the punter. He did kickoffs and received punts and stuff like that. So he was literally and played on defense, started on defense. So he's literally on the field every single snap. So you got to think about how tired he was throughout there and what he was doing in practice. Was he focusing 100% on the running back position? Probably not. Also, these big-time running backs, Jaden Blue, you can't count this against him. All these big-time running backs, Citizen, Tavarius Jones, Ruben Owens, these guys are big-time. They're on big-time 7-on-7 teams. They go to lots of camps. They have great coaching. Again, that's nothing against them. That's just stuff that Jonathan Brooks probably didn't have out there in a Hallettsville. Probably didn't have to where he grew up. That probably wasn't out there for his means out there in Hallettsville. So what's he going to become and develop into whenever he has the time, one, to just focus in on running back. Two, he gets to eat some good food always and be trained in proper nutrition. And then three, gets time to develop just playing running back and not on defense. That's huge. It's massive. Love Jonathan Brooks, man. Our running back isn't quite crazy yet. I think who has a crazy running back room is Bama, as they lost a 4-star running back, and literally the next day they gained another 4-star running back in recruiting in the class of 22. But I like where we're going. I do like where we are going as far as in general in the class of 2022. Man, I'm starting to call him Star Drayton, to be honest with you, Mr. Working Man. Horns up to you, sir. Haven't quite seen you in here before. If any of y'all haven't signed up onto the Eyes on Texas program, any of you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, man. Let everybody know. I try to put out this kind of sort of content as often as I can. I do work a crazy schedule. That's why I really can't do live streams. I tried to do one last night, have a little bit more viewers, but it didn't quite work out for me. It wasn't my wife's birthday, so I'm doing it today, and I generally work nights. I'm also off on Saturdays, man, but everybody's busy on Saturday, so I generally don't get to time to reach out to you guys. But check up on the videos. I'm not going to be doing any more highlight videos for a couple of weeks, for about a month probably, just due to the fact that I didn't get in trouble with YouTube and stuff like that. It's just, long story short, I was trying to monetize, and I just had some issues with that as far as the highlight videos. So I'm just kind of sort of not doing those. Just going to be me doing live streams and me doing monologue videos for you guys, just to let you know. But please like this live stream. If you haven't, again, subscribe to the Eyes on Texas channel. But good to see you in here, Working Man. I love Stan Drayton, Mr. Working Man. Like I said earlier, I call him Star Drayton from now on. In my personal book, by my personal account. But all right, so let's get out my notes and let's go ahead and get into what I was going to start talking about. All right, so first of all, let's talk about the offensive line big board. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the big boys. They are really important. They are the guys that are going to make us become a big time program. They're the ones who are going to make you come from just being outside the rankings to a big time prime time program. We all know that you need the hog mollies up front. You need someone to oops, that's not who I wanted to put in there. You need someone to block for your running backs. You need someone to block for your quarterbacks. You need to keep that quarterback healthy and upright, man. So that is 100% why you need these guys. Yeah, here he is. Yeah, here we go. So coming up on the big board here, leading them off right now, we're going to talk about the offensive tackles. We're going to talk about the exterior guys, and then we're going to talk about the guys that are in the interior just a little bit more. But we'll get into the guys who, like the Devon Campbells, the guards. But first, let's talk about the offensive tackle position. I'm going to talk about 4 tackles, and I'm going to talk about 4 guards. On the offensive tackle position, we have 4 prospects. These first 2, I believe we're going to get either or. I believe this first one, we're talking about Kelvin Banks. He's coming from Summer Creek out there in Humble, Texas. Class of 22 guy. Going to be a 5-star, the most highly rated of the offensive tackle guys I believe that we have a true shot at. Kelvin Banks, I believe, is trending towards Texas. I believe we do have a 50-50 shot with these next 2 guys, Kevin Banks and Cam Dewberry. Both highly rated guys coming out of the great state of Texas. Summer Creek is where Kelvin is from. Going to be on our big board. Going to be, sorry guys, just kind of sort of spinning my wheels here. But Kelvin Banks is definitely someone that you need to look for. I believe that we have a 50-50 shot at this young individual, as he did go to LSU just this past weekend. Along with Cam Dewberry. They did get both of them on the campus. They did get them both been there in Baton Rouge. They did fire their offensive line coach and they made a big splash hire. So they did make some monster moves over there in the LSU, the Tiger Country. Calvin Banks, my #1 offensive tackle prospect in this class of 2022, and I believe we have going to be either or with this candidate. I don't want to say other than that, other than we have a 50-50 shot, either or kind of sort of can contender with this guy. I don't know what your contention is with him. What are your thoughts on Kelvin Banks, guys? But my next guy, the next prospect as far as the offensive tackle is concerned, yeah. When I was talking about the either or, this is going to be the either or. I do believe probably Kelvin Banks is trending a little bit more towards Texas at this time. Cam Dewberry has been mentioned with Aggie for a very long time as well as trending with Texas. But with LSU making that final push this past weekend, they did make quite an impact on the big 4-star prospect from Humble, Texas. But talking about Cam Dewberry, as he is a true tackle, does have the big body, is exactly what Texas is looking for on this prospect. We've been after this prospect for quite some time. Been on the radar as far as the 40 acres for quite some time. The old staff did offer Cam Dewberry. Steve Sarkeesian took over. Kyle Flood has been leading the way with the recruitment of this young man, so he's been making more of an impact. Quite as far as getting him on the 40, need to get oh, that's what I can bring up and start talking about. Do you need to get Cam on the 40? But Cam Dewberry, my #2 overall prospect tackle for the class of 22, need to get him on campus for the visit. Looking forward to having him on here. But these next 2 offensive tackle guys, other primetime prospects, I do believe these are going to be my next tier of offensive linemen. But not like they're any kind of sort of big drop off here. As another 4-star prospect, Jacob Sexton, going to be from Edmond, Oklahoma, someone that we might be able to pluck from Oklahoma. So instead of they're taking our players, we might have a chance at one of theirs. Before Kyle Flood got to the campus, before Steve Sarkeesian was named head coach, definitely Jacob Sexton was a hardcore Oklahoma Sooner lean, was looking like an easy slam dunk for the Deer Creek 4-star player. Is nationally rated, as you can see, as 237 in the country. That #24 offensive tackle, period. Man, in the great state of Oklahoma, he is the #5 ranked player in Oklahoma. So bringing it home from Oklahoma, we need to go in there and start plucking their players as they've been plucking theirs for years. But as far as the next tier of offensive tackles, as far as exterior offensive line bodies, Jacob Sexton is definitely going to be up there for us as well. If we can get 2 out of these 4 offensive tackles, man, I will be very happy. If we can get 2 tackles and 2 of these guards, I'll be happy with that. And maybe some sort of other flyer prospect that we don't quite know about. Some sort of senior might make a big push, might make a strong push this senior season. But if we can get any 2 of the 4 of these guys, I will be happy with this. With that being said, I do believe of all the guys that we do have trending towards us, I do believe this young man is trending towards us the most. When you're talking about big bodies, when you're talking about big offensive line bodies, you're definitely talking about Cameron Williams from Deville. Duncanville need to install the Duncanville pipeline in recruiting, need to get that back going. Duncanville, year in, year out, produces top prospects from every single position, so we definitely need to make a pipeline. If we can start creating that pipeline, again, reestablish that pipeline with Duncanville, we would definitely be going in the right direction. Cameron Williams, the class of 22 prospect, we did just reach out to him as far as an offer not too long ago. I believe it was just the middle to early of May is whenever we finally did offer the big tackle. So you see up there, he is a large individual, 6'5", 360 pounds. Might have gotten a bit bigger than that. Needed to slim down. Is doing the correct things to mold that body down to slim it down. I don't want to say that he is a project prospect as far as that weight is concerned. I believe is that he just ballooned up, not being in a good environment as far as diet and education and overall conditioning consistently, i.e., if we get him on the 40, we get him in Torrey Becton's conditioning program, I believe we can mold him into that body that he does want. But as far as offensive tackle body, he is what you want, man. He can touch you, reach out to you from the phone booth, does have that offensive tackle body, a true bender at the knees, doesn't bend over at the waist, as he is such a highly touted prospect, 4-star prospect, 354 in the nation, as you can see there. But Duncanville prospect is going to make a trip to the 40 here in June. So we're talking about June being a big month for prospects. This is going to be a guy that's going to be on the 40 as well. Yes, I want to remove. All right, you guys have any more questions? Love how Steve Sarkeesian is making our offensive lineman bigger. Kinds of remind me of Jay Fisher. Yeah, we do tend to be going towards these big, gigantic offensive linemen, don't we? We do tend to be tending towards these big, gigantic hog mollies. Don't really seem to be going towards the slender offensive tackle and guard positions, because that's what they had at Bama. That's what seems that they're kind of sort of seeking out. That is what worked out for them. But also what Coach Kyle Flood is, he's extending, isn't he? He's going from coast to coast, not having any kind of sort of resolve of going after big primetime prospects. We'll get after that whenever we're talking about Ernest Green, as far as someone that he did put out a big-time net out there in the guard position out there in California. Ernest Green, a primetime prospect that we might have a potential in landing out there in California. Definitely Coach Kyle Flood been bringing him home. We did make his top 10 talking about Ernest Green in March 17th. So as far as where we're going with the big body guard prospect, I do like it. So we are definitely going after the bigger bodied offensive lineman. It reminds you of Jeff Fisher when he got there to A&M. But would you like to see Agabo and Green come visit? I would love to see all the prospects come visit. I would love to see all top prospects from the offensive line position come. I don't believe in slow playing any offensive lineman this year, i.e., what I was talking about with Cole Hudson and Robertson, or what I'll get into now, or whatever. If you have one of these 4 guys that I'm listing at, that I'm talking about at any time, and they want to commit, go ahead and take. Based on what we have on the 40, based on the class of 21 only having 2 3-star prospects, I think we need to take all of our offensive line commits that we do have of these 8 guys that I am going to be talking about. Of all the guys that we do have coming to campus, coming visits, that we have been in constant communication over, talking about the 4 that I have mentioned, and these 4, which I'll just go ahead and get into them now. We do need to go ahead and have them as a take. All right. Yeah, and talking about guards, if we're talking about the class of 2022, definitely need to talk about this individual and I'm going to talk about Devon Campbell for quite some time here. Is I believe when we're talking about recruiting in the class of 2022, he is my number one guy. Regardless of position, even if we get Quinn Ears from South Lake Carroll, the number one overall player in the nation, I believe landing Devon Campbell is going to be a bigger impact in the long run for the great state of Texas. We've been on him for ever since he broke out his sophomore year, made that impact. During that offer have been crystal ball for Devon Campbell for quite some time. As far as why it is such an importance, why I'm leaning towards that being such a big difference maker. And as far as recruiting everyone else, is man, we got big giant egg in our face last year whenever we missed out on the Brockemeyer twins. Coach Herban really missed out on that. Tom Herman missed out on that as well, not offering the younger brother there whenever he did come to make his visit. So Tommy and James Brockemeyer went to the University of Alabama. So if we were to miss out on Devon Campbell, 5-star prospect for offensive line, again, it would be an absolutely egg on the University of Texas's face, and I don't believe it would take some time before Texas is able to make up for that egg on an eggshell on its face. Really, whenever you're talking about Devon Campbell and you're talking about him as a prospect, as a 5-star prospect, you're talking about offensive linemen as 5-star prospects that Texas has had. I went back and looked at 247 Sports and I looked it up. Texas has only had 3 5-star offensive linemen. That's period since 2000, since the year 2000, since the site dates back to in rating 5-star prospects that it dated back to. University of Texas has only had 3. That is why getting DJ Campbell on the 40 is such a big time. We can get as many 5-star other players in the position. We can get 5-star prospects as far as quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. We can get those guys into the fold. We've had 5-time prospects as far as linebackers and defensive linemen. But as far as offensive linemen, we've always thought they're just going to keep on coming to us, that we're Texas, that we are Texas, Texas fight, and that we should just be guaranteed, be grandfathered in these players, and that is not the way it's coming, and they're not coming. So as far as offensive linemen, this is my number one get in the class of 22. As far as gets period, as far as recruiting prospects period, Devon Campbell is my number one guy. As a prospect, you see him there as the 5-star. He's the number one interior offensive lineman. That's how they rate it now. No one is no longer a guard or a center. They just kind of sort of group it tackle and then interior lineman. Kind of sort of better way of doing it in my estimation. Nationally rated the 10th best prospect, and he is athletic. Once he's coming out of the guard position, running, pulling out of the backfield, he's a beast, man. I made a video on him that DJ Campbell is a human wrecking ball, and he loves to be the leader. Whenever he has a big time running back following him, loves to be the guy making the ways, plowing over those holes. Whenever he is going out pulling it, whenever he's the pulled guard out there on these running plays, business decision definitely comes into the fold whenever you're talking about DJ Campbell. If you're a cornerback or a smaller linebacker out there, or anyone really, and DJ Campbell has a head of steam coming your way, you just need to get out the way, make a business decision, get out the way, and learn to live another day is basically what I'm talking about. How do I feel about Evan Stewart, and have you heard anything about him? So, Dre, I guess Evan Stewart, I guess you're talking about the 5-star wide receiver, the flashy 5-star wide receiver there. Yeah, I have heard some stuff about him. He did make a official visit to Florida this past weekend. He said he had a good time. As far as how much of an impact that made on his recruitment, I don't think Florida is a major player in that regard. So as far as his visits, he has been to Florida. I do know that he has more visits scheduled up, but I do ultimately see Evan Stewart landing into the fold in Texas in the class of 22. The speedster definitely is going to be one of our primetime prospects from the wide receiver skill position, as he was named the 6A track star, Texas track star of the year. So, Dre, man, Evan Stewart, definitely someone that is going to be into the fold. And so that's what I've heard about him. I feel that Texas is still in the lead for his recruitment. The crystal balls are still in the favor of Texas, and that he did make one official visit this past weekend. And that official visit was to Florida, and it wasn't that impactful. So there you go. All right, so let's talk about another offensive guard, and who we have DJ Campbell. So my number 2 guard, and number 1 obviously is going to be DJ Campbell. As I said, that he was my number 1 player in general in the class period. I have mentioned this other player's name just a few times before. Oh, who's that? Yeah. So this other one is definitely going to be from the great state of California. Hopefully the West Coast prospect, we can use our West Coast ties here. Whenever you're talking about guys that we get into the fold, I don't want to say that that he's a flyer prospect. I don't want to say that we don't have a chance with him. I don't want to say Texas isn't leading for Ernest Green is what I'm getting at. We did make his top 10 that he did drop on March 17th, so we do have that going for us in our favor, talking about Ernest Green. But as far as leading for Ernest Green, I definitely do believe that he definitely has some West Coast ties out there. Probably USC, Oregon, definitely going to get some good looks. Ernest Green, definitely a primetime prospect, as you can see him as a fringe 4 or 5-star player from the interior line position. He is a guard, but whenever you're talking about DJ Campbell being the more puller, the more athletic guard, Ernest Green is a straight mower. He's a road grader from a phone booth perspective, absolute man mover, a mover of men. Ernest Green, absolute beast coming out of California. As you can see, he does play for St. John Bosco. Those of you who do or don't follow high school football, St. John Bosco's absolute powerhouse out there in the great state of California. Great size, great body, has the arm length, has the body type that you want. 6'4", 6'5", as you see there, 330 pounds. Is a good dipper. When I'm saying this is he is a natural bender. He doesn't just naturally bend over at the waist. Actually dips, flows through his hips, and drives into the blocks instead of just bending over at the waist in an unathletic position. Everyone making the transition from college. From a high school to college can always improve their lateral movement and their quick hands. That's definitely going to be the thing that is going to get you is your hand technique, because you're definitely used to overpowering pretty much everyone at your way in the college position and in high school. But whenever you get to college, guys are definitely going to be a little bit bigger, definitely going to be a little bit stronger. So as far as that is concerned, as far as that regards, every guard to every interior lineman is definitely needs to beef it up, bulk it up, just in general, as you just growing into from high school into college men is going to be a big time thing. But Ernest Green, a primetime prospect from the guard position. So if we could possibly get Ernest Green into the fold, be amazing for the Texas Longhorns. But he's my number 2 overall guard position, interior line position, whatever you want to call it. Boom. And moving on from Ernest Green to this next individual. Yep, this is the guy that we want to talk about. And we're talking about Cole Hudson. I did speak about him just a few moments ago, 20, 30 minutes ago, earlier, however long it's been since I've been doing this. Good stuff coming from Cole Hudson, really. And what I do, in fact, like about him is he's already been on campus, really. He does have an official visit coming up this week, I do believe. His father has been a player from the Arizona State Sun Devils. He did have some time in professional rankings. He was on campus for just some unofficial visit. Did see Coach Kyle Flood Do know that they did have a good time out there talking about him, his father out there, and Coach Kyle Flood, as they did take in the baseball game as Arizona State was on the field, was on the diamond, so they did get a chance to take in a ball game there. Got a chance to check in the overall environment on the 40 acres, and that's a plus, man. Right? That's a win. Anytime these guys are on your campus with checking out your school with your environment, that's a big positive win. That's what these kids really want to do, because they've been bottled up, cogged up for 14 months. I believe the dead period was for COVID, as there was no visits. So as far as Cole Hudson is concerned, very, very happy to see that he's back on the 40. Very happy to see that him and his dad are going to make another visit. His family are going to make another visit, an official visit this weekend. But Cole Hudson, talking about him, is going to be a 4-star prospect, as you can see, from Frisco, Texas, as interior lineman, ranked number 13 overall. Going to more than likely could play center, could play guard. My number 3 overall ranked interior lineman. That's going to be on the big board here for the Texas Longhorns. As I do see a good positive lean. Texas is in a good positive trend here for Cole. I do like where the Longhorns are trending and going with this prospect in general, man. So I do like what we do have to offer with Cole. All right. And the last offensive guard. This is when I'm talking about slow playing people. When I'm talking about slow playing prospect, I was mainly talking about these last two. Talking about Cole Hudson and Connor Robertson, right? So the deal is here you go. The question is, if Connor Robertson is ready to commit and we still have these other top guard prospects into the fold, i.e. Ernest Green, i.e. Cole Hudson, should we go ahead and take that commitment? If as you can see here, Connor Robertson is viewed as a 3-star prospect. All these other ones were 4-star prospects and above. And with Ernest Green and, of course, DJ Campbell being the 5-star prize in the class, should we go ahead and slow Connor and go ahead and not accept that commitment whenever if and when Connor was to commit? So say Connor was say, hey, coach, I'm ready to commit. I like what y'all are offering. I'm very much ready to commit to the University of Texas. If we were to just go ahead and slow play that process, go ahead and slow play that transition, waiting for a decision on Cole, waiting a decision on Ernest. I don't think that we're in any kind of sort of position to do anything like that. If Connor Robertson is to go ahead and accept a commitment from the University of Texas, I think that we should take it. And any of these 4 guys, to be honest, I think I believe it should be a first come, first serve when it comes to these 8. That's my personal opinion when it comes to these guys. But as a prospect, as a player, he is viewed as an interior lineman, guard / center prospect, 3-star nationally rated by 247 Sports there. What I do like about him as well is he is from the Austin Westlake Hills, which, as we know, is going to be the Austin suburbs. Great pipeline for football. They play great football out there in the great state of Texas. Sam Ellinger played there, amongst many other prospects that we've had. We need to reestablish that pipeline, as Jaden Greathouse is going to be a class of 2023 prospect. One of my favorites in the class of 23, Jaden Greathouse, primetime player, wide receiver / flex tight end for the Chaparrals. So we definitely need to go ahead and reestablish that Westlake pipeline back with Connor Robertson and back with all these other primetime prospect players. That in which I did talk about Jaden Greathouse as well. But if we make a big impact, great influence with these other prospects, do good with Connor, do good with all these other prime offensive linemen, I believe that Texas will start trending in a good time, in a good relationship, in a good way for future offensive lineman classes. We start paving the way for Texas, known for producing top offensive line talent. So we can start getting some first-round draft picks, start getting some primetime players from that position, start coming to our university from that position in general. Let's talk about John Trevino's question, man. How does the transfer portal affect the future recruiting classes, especially when there are former 5-stars emerging in the portal? I don't think it's necessarily going to affect future classes all that much. I do believe these players are really hungry to go ahead and take visits. I do believe these players are really hungry to go ahead and look on campuses, start establishing great lines of communications with coaches and campuses and see them with their own eyes. So I don't believe that transfers will make that big of an impact, because I do believe these players have a great deal of confidence in their own ability, i.e. Jonathan Brooks, right? The 4-star, Friends 4-star player from Hallettsville, the smaller player. Whenever he sees all these other primetime players, Jonathan Blue coming into the fold, Jaden Blue, all he does is happy about it, say, all I got to do is work harder. Whenever he sees another running back from Alabama coming into fold, another 4-star player who already has been in Steve Sarkeesian offense, already might be a little bit ahead of him as far as scheme-wise, all he does is tweet out that I have to work harder. So what that tells me is that players are confident in their ability. So as far as overall recruiting, the recruits affecting as far as the transfer portal affecting recruits in general, I don't think it really does all that much, to be quite honest with you. Do you see Steve Sarkeesian using the transfer portal for a second recruiting tool? Because if he doesn't like doing that, he's using the transfer portal as a second recruiting tool. Well, yeah, he absolutely has been using it as a second recruiting, as a second transfer, as a second recruiting tool. He absolutely has. We've gotten I believe we got 2 starters from the transfer portal this year. I believe from McNeese State and LSU. I believe Ray Thornton is definitely going to be a starter, and I believe the cornerback his name's escaping me right now. But those are 2 guys that right now that were not involved at all. From a perspective is we're not involved at all as on the campus, not involved at all from a UT concern, and now those guys might be starters. So as far as Steve Sarkeesian using that as a tool, I think he will. If he needs to plug in and get some linebacking depth, i.e. like he did this year, if we need a starter in the defensive backfield, he went there from McNeese State, grad transfer, probably looking to Ray Thornton, probably looking to be a transfer coming out of LSU. Dunham, that's the corner's name. Thank you very much there, Speedy German. But yeah, I mean, those are 2 guys that are going to be starters. I don't think that these incoming freshmen are really going to be worrying about it, because these transfer-in players are more than likely going to be guys that are going to be more juniors and seniors, upperclassmen, more grad transfers in the future. You do have to take into the fact that this year is a bit of a crazy year. This COVID year isn't always going to be like this. There isn't always going to be so many transfers in that are going to be able to start right away. So I don't believe there's going to be so many immediate transfers. So I don't think there's going to be so many transfers with as much eligibility as the guys do have right now. Because the guy that we have coming in from Alabama, he's got 3 years left, man. So that's definitely good on our note. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna start talking about my next topic here in a second. I'm gonna start talking about hidden gems here in a second for you guys. If you have any questions about who we have coming on the 40, anything about the running back position, anything about wide receivers, man, what wide receiver questions that you do have, I do believe that Brennan Thompson is trending towards the University of Texas. I do know that Alabama is definitely going to be in the fold. Clemson had been the leader in the clubhouse for Brennan Thompson, but what I do believe, what is happening with him is I believe he's trending away from Clemson. I think they're talking about doing away with track, and I do believe that's something that Brennan is looking to do at the next level. So as far as the wide receiver position, Brennan Thompson trending towards the University of Texas, would love to have that speed on the outside, would love to have that speed anywhere on the offensive skill position for the great state of Texas. If you didn't know who I'm talking about with Brennan Thompson, he's going to be the speedster from Spearman, 5'11", right around 160, 165 pounds. But he is a 100 and 200 demon speedster on the outside, as his best time, most recent time, was 10.39 seconds. I have heard 10.21, but I don't know exactly how accurate that was. But that 10.39 is real. I do believe that was in the state meet that he did just have, but it looked more of a smaller player, a little bit more smaller division of high school ball, as he does play out there in the Panhandle, out there in Spearman. But I do love where we are trending towards him in that individual. Talking about Armani Moonfield, the commit that we do have, the current commit. He did have a visit to Michigan State this past weekend. I do know that they are still considering into the fold, but not a leading candidate for Armani. The commitment with Armani Winfield is still holding firm, so I'm not really concerned about his commitment to decommitting from the University of Texas. Obviously, Bryce Anderson did recently go out and visit to the University of Texas A&M. The Aggies did have a good visit this past weekend. I don't know exactly how successful it was in the long run, in the long run, right? Because that was their big giant blowout weekend, and they didn't get any commits from that big giant blowout weekend. True, it was the first weekend. A lot of these recruits want to see more campuses. They do want to see more campuses. But that was their big giant weekend. That was their big bang. That was their big swing for June, for this month, for this recruiting cycle. And they did make a big impact. They got Bear Alexander, the recent decom from Georgia, is now trending, is now crystal balled to them. But they didn't get any commits. They did make an impact with Bryce Anderson, but the only thing that I saw was that was one of the mods from the 247 Sports just kind of sort of lowered his confidence level that a Texas will still be the crystal ball pick. And he still is scheduled to Bryce Anderson to come on the 40. Still has a scheduled official visit scheduled with the Texas Longhorns. So the fact that no commitments were made by the University of Texas, by the University of A&M Aggies on their big visit weekend, and we got 2 back-to-back visits coming up this weekend. We have Ruben Owens on the 40, the 5-star running back, probably the 1 or 2 best running backs in the class of 23, excuse me. We have Arch Manning coming in the fold. We all know about Arch Manning and that Manning family, as he is a big primetime prospect, the number 3 overall prospect in the class of 23, I believe, number 1 overall pro quarterback. And when it comes with Manning, I think that's going to be a relationship kind of sort of recruitment. I believe that's who's going to win out. I believe it's going to be a player development aspect. I don't necessarily believe he's going to go to necessarily a Clemson just because they have a great winning track record. I don't believe he's necessarily going to go to Alabama because they won the national title last year and a great winning track record. I believe that he's going to go to a good program, obviously, because he doesn't want to be on his butt day in and day out, running around his life in the backfield, that he is going to need a secured offensive line to stand behind and to work behind. But player development from his actual position, i.e. Steve Sarkeesian and A.J. Milwee, have been in his ear and been making a primetime push and making a big-time aspect and making a big-time impact from that regard. So as far as that is concerned, big-time players coming in the class of 23, Arch Manning, amongst others. I do believe we have Jaden Blue coming up on the class of 22 and other commits coming up in June. But we have big primetime prospects coming into 40, and the Texas A&M Aggies, they already had their big swing. They already had their big prospects. They already had their big weekends. And yeah, they did turn some heads. They were successful. They did get a decommitment from Bear Alexander and a crystal ball in there towards their favor. They did make a big impact on Bryce Anderson, but 0 commitments. Let's see how much of an impact it'll have down the line for them. But like I said earlier, Texas, we still got a couple of big swings coming up, and we have prospects on the 40 every single day this month, I believe. So big stuff coming up from that. So my third topic I do kind of sort of want to talk about. Let's see if we have any questions in. Bill O'Brien is not a quarterback guru. That's right, man. So that's one of the things that I was talking about with not Ruben Owens, with Arch Manning, is that he's going to go for that relationship. He's going to go for that player development. He's going to go for that coaching. And yeah, he wants to win. Yeah, he wants to have fun and be in a big time primetime program, which he will go to. But player development and player relationship with that coach is going to be the best for Arch Manning, and leading for his ultimate signature by my estimation. But man, let's go get to these diamonds in the rough. Let's get into these hidden gems, as I do have 4 to talk about, to be honest with you, and we'll start getting these guys on the way here. You think Bear Alexander might be on campus today? Oh, have it. That'd be awesome. All right, let's put this guy down. Oh no. Definitely want him. All right. All right, so we're talking about 4 players that I believe are diamonds in the rough, hidden gems. Texas has offered 2 of these individuals. One, I don't believe Texas will offer. The third, talking about Tyler King. Man, you don't ever know, because, man, Tyler King has got that speed. Let's go ahead and remove this. Let's go ahead and throw up our first individual here. Yeah, boom. Talking about this young individual. This individual comes from DeWitt, Michigan. Not rated as a national prospect by 247 Sports. You can see that he is a 3-star athlete. But let's go ahead and get in talking about him. He is a wide receiver / tight end. And when you look at the 247 Sports rankings if you look at the 247 Sports positions, he is listed as a wide receiver offer. Texas is going to look him as a tight end by my estimation. He is from DeWitt, Michigan, 6'5", right around 205 pounds. He's a class of 22 athlete. As I did say, he is a unranked 3-star recruit. I do believe his recruitment, his ranking will rise this summer and fall, as he did put out some good film. He put out some good route running out there on YouTube. Put out some good film where he was showing the route tree just a little bit more, because majority of his routes have been on fly patterns, where he makes a good play on a 50-50 ball. But he is officially listed as a wide receiver, but he is being recruited as a tight end. And where you will see him out on the field is he does be mainly split out as a wide receiver, running vertical routes, as I did mention up as well. He will occasionally line up in the slot off the ball. They do slip him in line occasionally, as he is being molded to be a tight end prospect, in my estimation, as he is 6'5". Does have great body control, by the way, for that 6'5", as he does make good plays in the sideline as well. But they will slip him into a 3-point stance to kind of sort of get him ready to be a tight end on the third level. On the next level in college. But as a prospect, as I did talk about earlier, he does show good body control while in the air and while running routes near the sidelines. He does have a great picturesque photo of him tiptoeing on the sidelines there, making a great catch. Makes great adjustments with the ball in the air and off 50-50 balls. So when the ball is in the air, it's his. And then naturally so, as you can see him with that frame, being 6'5", 205 pounds already. So jumping, making big plays on the ball, big strong hands, red zone threat, looking good for that position for young Tommy McIntosh. Very fluid and natural for being 6'5" as well. the fluidity, excuse me, does help in transition to his route running as well. He's not stiff as a board out there. He does flow pretty well with his hips for being someone who is 6'5". As I did say, he did work out recently running routes that probably did go ahead and garner him this recent attention. Whenever I did look at him on that video, he did appear to be a bit thicker in his back, especially from what I saw. That was going to be my biggest surprise, is to be the thickness in the back was a little bit more than I thought it would be, and of course in the legs as well. But as a prospect, as a player, versatility is something that I definitely like about him. As well as that speed, I do want to know what that speed is actually clocked in at. To be quite honest with you, would love to be able to interview young Tommy McIntosh. That'd be awesome to see if I can get him on film here with you guys. But versatility, anyone who can make plays on all three levels of the field on multiple positions is a take by my estimation. Something else that he also does well is he uses his body to shield defenders on short routes. So yielding off shorter defenders on those short routes is something that you definitely want to be if you're a larger bodied individual, if you're a larger bodied player. As you just want to use what you got, right? If God made you be 6'5", 205 pounds, and that corner or a linebacker is only 6 foot tall, use what you got. All right, this other individual is definitely trending towards the Texas Longhorns. He already does have a crystal ball into his favor. He is going to be a beast from East Texas. Talking about this young athlete prospect. Yeah, talking about a diamond in the rough. Going to be the highest rated player in this little Diamond in the Rough series that I do have for you. Going to be from the Beast of East Texas from Tenaha, Jeremy Patton. As you see, he is listed up there as a wide receiver. But he is an athlete prospect who is looking to be a linebacker on the next level. He did visit the UT campus just this past Saturday, June the 5th. He is a 3-star athlete in the class of 22, as I said, from Tenaha, Texas. 6'1", right around 210 pounds, nationally rated at 664. He has played a little bit of wide receiver, but he is looking to play linebacker on the next level. He's also played a little bit of defensive back, showing that versatility as well. So some strengths that Jeremy Patton does in fact have is being a wide receiver convert. Gives him good speed, gives him good quick feet on the ball, and good ball skills in general as well, which is a must for big-time Big 12 linebackers. We need players to be able to run sideline to sideline and pick up those athletes coming in out of the backfield and have good movements laterally as well. Need them to have quick feet and ball skills definitely help out as well. Has played in the secondary against quick receivers to strengthen his coverage skills. So another feather in young Jeremy's cap. But talking about the linebacking position, he has shown the toughness and the physicality that is necessary for that position, as well as showing the toughness and physicality, showing the vision and to read and make plays on the ball is definitely what he's shown up on his film as well, and probably why the Texas rise in his interest has risen as well. Strength to shed off blocks and linemen, and overall run game can definitely need to focus on, as he is a little smaller of an athlete. You see him as 210 pounds, could bolster up that frame a little bit, but he did play a little bit against smaller competition. That's going to be something else that is going to be a negative feather in his cap, I guess you could say, or something that Jeremy Patton, others will frown upon him while talking about his recruitment, and while he might not be as rated higher as some others. But if you are talking about Jeremy Patton, I really do wish that he could hone in on the skills. As I did say, he has played wide receiver. He has played defensive back as well. So if he could have the time and the opportunity to both strengthen his body and develop, as well as hone in his linebacking skills and only develop as a linebacker, I think he'd truly go somewhere and be able to get somewhere as a linebacker in the college level. So, man, if you're looking for someone a diamond in the rough character candidate if you're looking for someone to look at who is not necessarily big-time, prime-time player, because not everybody is a 5-star athlete coming out of high school. Not everyone is a 4-star player. Some of these guys are going to be unheard of. And someone who's definitely coming into the scene, and most definitely deservingly so, going to be Tyler King from Leaf Taylor, from coming out of the Houston area. As you can see me putting him up on the board there. He's going to be a class of 2022 athlete, and he's going to be a prospect with blazing speed. And, man, he's on the rise as a prospect. As you can see him, he's going to be from Tyler King High School out of Leaf Taylor, which is going to be the Houston area. Class of 2022 athlete, 5'10", good frame, not bad. Can fill it out that 160 pounds, just a little bit more. Some feathers in his cap, some things that he does have going for him as well. Was a unanimous All-District player in 2020. He owns a recorded times in the 100. When I'm talking about speed, when you're talking about speed kills, man, you're talking about Tyler King. Best time in the 20, recorded 10.21 meters in the 100. That is flying. Anything low 10 in the 100-meter dash is absolutely flying, and he did it in 10.21 in the meters, and he doubled it up in the 200 in 20.74 seconds. Was at a UT camp just this past weekend as well, and he was probably the fastest athlete over there as well. Tyler King is already holding some offers. Colorado State, Houston, the hometown Houston Cougs are going to be in there. Memphis and North Texas and Texas State are going to be in the fold, in the mix, already putting in their hat for this fast athlete coming out of Leaf Taylor. And speed kills, man. If you want that speed on the outside, look no further from Tyler King. So that's what I have as far as 3 out of my 4 guys that you need to look for as far as diamonds in the rough. And this one next individual, I made a video about him. Haven't spoken much about him that much time. And when you're talking about prospects that are true diamonds in the rough character, look no further than this young individual. It's going to be Christian Bates. Whoop, whoop. If I can get him, blow him up just a little bigger here for us. Here we go. Christian Bates, if you look at him, you don't even see a picture of him. All you see is the black and white photo. Going to be from Pittsburgh, Texas. Thumping linebacker. A true traditional inside linebacker. Needs to improve. Hey, baby girl. Needs to improve his lateral movement just a little bit better. But overall, as a diamond in the rough candidate, diamond in the rough prospect, someone to look forward to, can blow up as a senior prospect out there in East Texas. Likes to attribute himself the beast of East Texas, and I'll go ahead and give him that. As if you want to, looking for someone to blow up a lead block, if anyone trying to block this middle linebacker, he shows on film over and over again of him blowing up the lead block. Whenever I did, in fact, make a video on Christian Bates, that is what, in fact, I entitled the video, "Blowing Up the Lead Blocker," burying the lead blocker, something to that effect. But he is where he is going to be a prospect, not ranked, is going to be that body. You see him at 5'11". Would like to see him more at a 6'1" kind of sort of range. He would most definitely be on the primetime prospect. Would be nationally rated higher as a 3-star candidate. But he does hold one offer from Jackson State University. So looking for him to be on the rise as a senior, coming up in the class of 2022. Christian Bates, holla at your boy. But let's see what kind of sort of questions you guys have in the comment section that we're talking about. Saw a crystal ball for Cam, did you? Hey, what's up, 87? Haven't seen you in quite a while. I've seen you on the comment section on many of my videos and on many of my live streams. So welcome to the live stream, brother man. Looking forward to having you in here. And yeah, getting it rolling. So 87, you got any questions for me right now? I've talked about June visits. We've talked about guys who just got done talking about the big board as far as offensive line, those guards and those tackles, those interior linemen. I just got done talking about some hidden gems for y'all. Did mention guys that have already been on the 40, as we do have Jeremy Patton, the rangy linebacker prospect from Tenaha. A little bit of a small town favorite, a little bit of a small time primetime player there for you. But anyone that's looking for prospects that I'm going to be looking to on the rise, look no further than to those four that I did just mention. Go ahead and check out their huddle. Check them out, man. They most definitely do deserve it. Christian Bates definitely deserves it. I've been in communication with his dad a couple of times. Very, very proud papa. Been in communication with Christian himself over Twitter as well. Very proud and humble young man. Great individuals, both of them. Coming from Pittsburgh, Texas. It's a hard-working town. Hard-working, good people, good common folks. And really would love to see Christian Bates get some pub. So if you hear him on Twitter, if you listen to this, man, go ahead and hit him up on Twitter. Figure him out on Twitter and hit up Christian Bates. And just let him know that your boy AK was talking about him here on the Eyes on Texas channel. I'd very much appreciate that, man. Let him know that people are talking about Christian Bates, man. Definitely deserves to get some more recognition in the class of 2022. Yeah. But I will talk about this again. I do run the Eyes on Texas channel. I'm the owner, operator, moderator of the Eyes on Texas channel. I will start doing some more highlight videos for you. I just have to change up my formula just a little bit more. I'd have to change up how I do that for you. But I do monologue style videos where I basically just kind of sort of talk about a topic and go and run on it. Just talk about it, i.e. Hidden gems that we just talked about, those guys. I would kind of sort of make a video on that. I just did that. I.e. I could make a video on the O-line big board. I have 4 offensive linemen on the offensive guard, tackle, interior linemen, and then I do have 4 prospects on my big board that I think Texas was definitely leaning toward on the exterior from the tackle positions. So as well as that, I do enjoy doing live streams for you as well. It's my first time with first or second time with this new format, with being able to put up actual decals on there. So I'm just getting a little bit better from that perspective as far as that concern is. So yeah. So if you guys have any other questions for me as far as the presentation, what I did have available and ready for you, what I did wasn't lined up to talk about is I was lined up to talk about summer visits. I was lined up to talk about hidden gems, and I was lined up to talk about the O-line board. So yeah. I would like to help support me financially. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Scott. I don't have anything set up for like that right now. That's very cool, brother. I don't know what to say about that. That's very humbling. My channel will be monetized here shortly. Hopefully here within the next month. I did do what to get monetized is I just do have to get some more hours banked up here in the old bank, and that's what I need to monetize. As I did have a little bit of a trouble whenever I did try to get my channel monetized, is I was unsuccessful in doing so. Just basically got dinged for some of the highlights that I put up there. So I took down all of my highlight videos, which that had all of the majority of my hours in. So I just do need to get some more hours in on there. But I appreciate it, Scott. But as far as financially, I'll have it set up to monetize my channel. I'll start doing some live streams every single day. I do plan on doing a morning show, to be honest with you. Once my family situation changes, let's say, as you can see, I do have people, youngsters, that keep on coming in here as well. But that'd be cool, man, and I appreciate that, Scott. Yeah, I haven't really heard anybody want to. I do want to get some T-shirts out to you. I do have some ideas. Yeah, I do have some ideas as far as that's concerned, as far as get some T-shirts out for you guys as well. I do have some ideas to further grow the channel. One of those ideas is definitely to get into the fold, start doing a morning show. I do have an idea for it. I do have a name for it. I'm trying to get interviews as far as other prospects. I'm trying to get Tommy McIntosh, trying to get to an interview with him, possibly reaching out to other people as well. I've talked to Steven from the Fanatic Perspective. We started making a video together And once we started making a video together, big giant storm hit, and I actually had a tornado warning during when I was filming with Steven. So I am doing some things to grow the program. I am doing some things to grow the show. So I very much appreciate that. So, but share if you would share the program, and like this channel, and tell everybody to submit. Go ahead and subscribe. That would very much appreciate it. And if you are on Twitter, go and tweet it out and let everybody know to subscribe to the Eyes On channel on YouTube. As I do try to keep everything real positive, I'll start getting into my exit here. If you guys don't have any questions for me right now, I do appreciate all of everybody's remarks. Always going to have the Speedy German up in here. I had Mark Raymond up in here. H7 always contributing. Very much appreciate it. Scott, I appreciate you contributing to the podcast here late, my friend. Very much appreciate you kind of sort of wanting to give some money financially. That's cool, man. I'll have that set up for you here in the future. If you haven't subscribed already, Scott, go ahead and do so now. I'd very much appreciate that. I do like to keep everything on a positive note. I do like to keep everything on a positive swing. There is, like in life, man, you got to keep your head in a swivel. You don't ever know who's ever going to come after you. You don't ever know who's going to come get you. Some people that you think might be your friends might actually be your foe. So you do need to keep your head on a swivel. You do need to keep the eyes in the back of your head. It does apply in football. That's kind of why I do say it on all the exits to most of my videos. Keep your head in a swivel, both on the recruiting field, on the recruiting cycle, both keep your head on a swivel in life. You do got to keep your head in a swivel in football as well. So with that being said, man, I do want to end this video. I do want to end this. I don't see any more questions right now, guys. So love to end this, guys. So everybody keep your head in a swivel. You guys on Texas? Hook them up.